Hey YouTube, it's Sachin, and this is Apple's latest and greatest flagship phone for 2016 and 17, and their best popular products yet, the iPhone 7 and the 7 Plus. So let's get right into it. Sit back and enjoy.
I'm not afraid.
Okay, so the differences between the last year's 6S and this year's is in terms of its design, display, camera, and the new specs. First of all, the design. Speaking of which, you might have noticed these two new colors called the black and the exclusive jet black. Now you will know more about why I call this exclusive later in this video. One thing worth pointing out though is that they have ditched the space gray color, so lovers of space gray, this is bad news for you. And of course, there are older selections like the lovely rose gold, gold and silver. The second change which might blow you away is the removal of the ancient hardware, and that's the headphone jack. And this has been replaced by another speaker, or is it? This is what it looks like if the display of the iPhone 7 is removed, and as you can see, compared to the last year's 6S, the Taptic engine is quite new and has an entirely new design. Most of the space have been occupied by the Taptic engine, and the rest of the space, well, they have been taken up by the speaker, right? If your answer is yes, then you're entirely wrong. Then what is that black thing? Well, it's just a piece of plastic. So basically, the reason for the removal of the headphone jack is the Taptic engine. So some of you might get angry if you're music listeners, but no, don't worry. The special lightning earpods are included in the box which plug in via lightning port. Now you might get angry again because how will you plug the older headphones that you might have loved to your new iPhone? And no worries to that as well because they also include the analog to lightning adapter. So if you lose this, it's only $9, which is great and cheap. But this is not necessarily a bad problem though, because people got mad when the Super CD drives were removed from their Macs, and people got very mad when the 30-pin dock connector found on the iPhone 4S and below, that was replaced by a lightning connector. And then we got used to it. There is nothing wrong here in the removal of the headphone jack, and the only thing I have to say is we have to move on and try something new. We don't have to keep this grandfather-like connectors over here, and then we have to change and try something new. That's what I have to say. The third change is the arrangement of the antenna. So they no longer go around the back of the device which looked dirty. Instead, they only go around the edge. So that's a welcome improvement. And moreover, it's not that visible on the jet black color, so you can't see that easily, but it's there. The fourth change is the speakers. So now the iPhone 7 comes with stereo speakers. So there's one speaker at the bottom and one at the earpiece. So this is not mind-blowing or anything, but this sounds much more better than last year's, and it's definitely a welcome improvement. Now you might think that, oh my god, then why the hell have they removed the headphone jack? And the answer is as simple as it is. Remember a microphone that was situated near the headphone jack? Well, that same microphone is contained in this. Now, it does not mean that the microphone is big or something. The only thing that Johnny Boy wanted the iPhone to look more attractive is by making both sides symmetrical. The fifth change is the home button. So this new home button looks the same externally, but inside it's a whole new story. So instead of a regular physical clicking mechanism, instead we have this Apple designed Taptic engine, which replicates those physical clicks and gives a haptic feedback at you to let you know that you have clicked it. Feels bizarre, but it actually works. To really understand what I'm saying, if you own one or if you can check one out in the local electronic or Apple store, shut the iPhone down and then you'll know what I'm talking about. Since it's software controlled, you can adjust the depth of click which you're getting under Settings, General, and Home button. Now you can set 3 levels of click in here. One is low, second is medium, and the third is high. I think the third option feels like real clicking, so for me the third option is the best. Next change is in the iPhone's enclosure. The enclosure of the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus had been completely re-engineered to make this the first iPhone to be certified with IP67 water resistant and dust resistant, which means that both the 7 and 7 Plus can be submerged under water of 1 meter of depth for 30 minutes. So if you're concerned with the iPhone's durability, don't worry, the enclosure does a pretty good job protecting your iPhone for most of the water accidents. Now it's water resistant, not waterproof, so don't misunderstand and take this for swimming. Next changes are in the display, so there are no resolution bump, the same 1334 by 750 resolution, good for a pixel density of 326 ppi on the iPhone 7, and a Full HD resolution, good for a pixel density of 401 ppi on the iPhone 7 Plus. But this time it's much more vibrant and colors pop. That's because both the iPhones are using a cinema standard P3 display which uses a wider color gamut than last year's. But both the displays has a different contrast ratio, 1400:1 on the iPhone 7 and 1300:1 on the 7 Plus. This display also has dual domain pixels, so delivers great off-axis viewing angles. The display also incorporates something which is called 3D touch. Seems simple, but the technology behind it is quite complex. The sensors which are embedded in the display measures microscopic distance between the cover glass and the backlight. This adds a new dimension to the way in which you interact. The display is able to detect pressure which you apply, giving rise to countless functions. For example, you can 3D touch an app on home screen and you get a secret contextual menu which allows you to select certain sections or functions that you can go or do before you launch the app. Another function that you can perform is that you can 3D touch links in web pages and get a preview of that website. If you increase the pressure again, you can directly go to that website. Now this also extends in iMessages, App Store, and other third-party apps like WhatsApp. So this is quite unique to the iPhone. Next is perhaps the change that you have been all waiting to hear, and that's the camera. So there are no resolution bump, the same 12 megapixel sensors as last year's, but this time it features a larger f1.8 aperture, 6-element lens. But the biggest news in this camera is that it features OIS or optical image stabilization in the standard iPhone 7, which is great. So you're not forced into buying the 7 Plus if you want that feature. The iPhone 7 Plus features a dual camera system. The thing here is that the one on the left is a standard wide-angle lens and the other on the right is a telephoto lens. The standard wide-angle camera has the f1.8 aperture and OIS, whereas the telephoto camera features an f2.8 aperture but does not include OIS. The telephoto has 2 times the optical zoom. The True Tone flash has also been upgraded here. Instead of 2, now we have quad LED flash, 2 of warmer colors and 2 of cooler color. So photos look really good, the exposure is great with vivid colors, it does not tend to oversaturate like what we see with the Samsung's camera. The colors look much more warmer and are more to the natural side. That's Apple's classic camera. Since the iPhone 7 has that dual camera, it can now zoom up to 2 times without losing the overall image quality. This camera also maxes out the focus, so overall that gets you a total zoom of up to 10 times. Since the iPhone 7 Plus has that dual camera system, it is now able to take shots in depth effect in portrait mode. This can only be achieved on the 7 Plus, so that's something to consider if you're crazy about photography, and the 7 Plus should definitely be your choice. Now let's take a look at the raw 4K footage coming from the 7 Plus. Both the 7 and the 7 Plus also has a new 7 megapixel FaceTime HD camera capable of recording 1080p video and 720p video in 30 and 60 frames per second. Both take excellent shots. In addition to these low light conditions, the display goes beyond its maximum brightness, which results in a flash called Retina HD flash. So what do you think about the camera? Let me know in the comments below. So let's take a look at how powerful this thing is. The iPhone 7 and the 7 Plus are launching with a new Apple-designed A10 Fusion chip, which is more powerful, but more power efficient than last year's Apple A9. That's because the A10 Fusion chip contains a new quad-core design. The chip has 2 high-performance cores and high-efficiency cores. The chip also contains Apple-designed performance controller, which is smart enough to know that which cores should be used at any given moment and switches accordingly. Now here's the complex part. The high-performance cores provides up to 40% faster processing than the A9 and 3 times faster than the A8. In terms of graphics, it's 50% faster than the A9 chip and 3 times faster than the A8 chip. The high-efficiency cores runs only basic tasks, which does not take that much of intensive graphics. Now in terms of power consumption, the high-efficiency cores uses only 1/5 the power, the high-performance uses 2/3 the power of the A9 chip and half the power of the A8 chip. So overall processing performance and graphics improvements over the first-gen iPhone is a staggering 120 times and 240 times faster respectively, which is crazy. So to conclude, the A10 Fusion chip is the most powerful and power-efficient chip made by Apple so far. Now in terms of paper, with a Geekbench score, we got a single core score of 3481 and a multi-core score of 5678. Now let's finally talk about the pricing. The good news is that they have finally ditched the 16GB version, which is pretty late but definitely worth over the wait, and then you're getting a double the storage for the same amount. So yeah, good job, Timmy. The baseline iPhone 7 gets you started off at 32 gigs of storage capacity and costs $649 US, and it can go all the way up to 256 gigs for a price of $849. The baseline iPhone 7 Plus gets you started off at the same storage capacity of 32 gigs for the price of $769 US, and it can go all the way up to 256 gigs for the price of $969 US. Now fun fact, the iPhone 7 and the 7 Plus are available in jet black color only for the capacity of 128 and 256 gigs, which is the reason why I call this color exclusive at the beginning. Now this pricing can vary from country to country, so verify with your local dealer or the local electronics store. So in conclusion, the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus are two of the most advanced and the latest iPhones made by Apple so far. And I think the greatest upgrading difference that both of these phones would make is if you are an iPhone 6 user or below. But otherwise, it's pretty much the same for the users of 6S. But overall, you get a stunning phone that's well designed and built, that's all made out of aluminum. So, what do you think about both the iPhone 7 and the 7 Plus? Let me know in the comments below. Also, which size and color do you prefer? Let me know that too in the comments below. Aside from that, thanks for watching this video and hope you liked this one too. If you liked this one, please don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you have yet to see more of the type of videos like this one. And don't forget to turn on notifications for both desktop and mobile. On mobile by simply clicking the bell icon next to my channel so that you're notified whenever a new video like this one comes out. Alright guys, that's gonna do for me in this video. Hope you guys really enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. This is Sachin and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace!